What is up, guys? It's ya boy, Rick. Ooh, have, bring a sword. Cacus here. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel and let me know what you think my next intro name should be. That comment section is out of control. Alright, today we are going to be showcasing some breaking and massive Destiny 2 news. You guys thought yesterday with the Destiny 2 showcase revealing the Witch Queen, the Bungie 30th anniversary event, and Season of the Lost was big. Well, today Bungie is continuing the trend for huge Destiny 2 updates because they unveiled how they are completely overhauling Trials of Osiris. That's right, the next time you play Trials of Osiris in Season of the Lost, it's going to be a very different experience. And one of the biggest changes, I'm kind of skipping ahead in order of the announcement, but it's so important I wanted to talk about it first, is the fact that Bungie is essentially deleting Trials of Osiris for tens of thousands, if not more, of Destiny 2 players. And that's because if you are a free-to-play player, a lot of people watching this video are going to fall into this boat, you no longer gain access to Trials of Osiris. You cannot go into this queue. You can't access this activity. What you'll now need to do is purchase whatever the main yearly expansion is. So right now, you will have to own Beyond Light. And then when the Witch Queen comes out in February 22nd, you will have to own the Witch Queen in order to access Trials of Osiris. Guys, this is a monumental change. On the one hand, the negative is that, like I said, you've basically removed this playlist for so many people. There's a lot of free-to-play players that genuinely enjoyed Trials of Osiris and made up a huge portion of the Trials player base. So that is absolutely the negative. You are quite literally making the free-to-play experience worse. You're making the content provided less. On the other hand, the positive from this is the fact that because it's now behind a paywall, the cheaters are going to be significantly lowered. For those who may not know, because you have a free-to-play game, when you ban an account, that person can just make a new account in minutes. And that's one of the biggest problems facing free-to-play games in general today. Another good example is Call of Duty Warzone. That game is infested with cheaters. Even though the developers will ban like 50,000 accounts in one day, it doesn't even make a dent because all of those people just make a new account and grind all their stuff back instantly because they're hitting non-stop headshots with their aimbots, right? So having that paywall will mean that if Bungie does ban an account, that player will need to buy the DLC again. And you may think, oh, what is it, like a $30 purchase? Like, won't they just do that? No, you'd be surprised. Cheaters are surprisingly cheap and they will just leave the game forever instead of buying the DLC again. So again, a paywall is a huge factor in limiting cheaters. To be honest, I see both sides, but I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section. However, we need to move on from there because there's a lot more changes as well. Firstly, in terms of scheduling. So, when Trials came out, sometimes it would compete with other important activities, like there'd be a brand new raid launching and Trials of Osiris at the same time. That didn't make a lot of sense. So now, there's going to be no Trials of Osiris in week 1 of new launches or before Raid Worlds First. So they say week 1 should be about exploring new content, features, and tunings, as well as using the new weapons and exotics. And also there's going to be no trials during Iron Banner, and they felt that overlapping these limited time PvP events weren't good for the health of either one. And that makes sense as well. You're kind of splitting the player base between the Iron Banner playlist and Trials of Osiris. So that means that Bungie removed Trials of Osiris for everyone for the first couple of weeks actually, and it will return to the game on September 10th, 2021. But moving on from there, we have some huge changes to accessibility. Firstly, they reduced the requirements for the Trials Access quest to use lifetime valor, ranks, and kills, so this should open Trials for more long-term Crucible dabblers. And that makes sense, especially when you're putting up that paywall we talked about earlier. Additionally, Trials now allows queuing and matchmaking without a full fire team. That's right, Trials matchmaking is here. So they say we want to allow more players to try the mode and start earning rewards even if they don't have a fire team. You can enter solo or with a friend, and matchmaking will fill the rest of your fire team for you. Freelance Trials, which is no pre-made fire team, solos only, will also be available via labs, and we'll talk about Trials labs going forward. Now, Bungie even admits going flawless with matchmaking is going to be really darn hard, but surely someone will do it, and as we'll talk about also, you don't really need to go flawless anymore to get some worthwhile rewards. Okay, so moving on from there, let's talk about some activity rules changes. So firstly, the round time is reduced to 90 seconds, down from 120 seconds. So they say stalling to wait for ability energy is not fun for either the winning or the losing team. This will not eliminate stalling, but will lessen the amount of stalling that can take place. And that's honestly a great change. I absolutely verse teams that would hide in the back of the map trying to get their abilities because they couldn't win a gunfight without them. Yeah, I'm talking to some of you. Alright, moving on from there, emotes will stay in first-person camera mode, and swords can't be equipped unless you actually have ammo, and this change is in elimination and survival as well. So if you run out of sword ammo when you're using it, you will be forced to swap to a different weapon. And this removes the ability for players to secretly peek around corners without putting themselves in danger. Again, this is a huge change. 3 peeking was definitely a huge part of the Trials meta, being able to go into third person and see around a corner before you committed to going around that corner, and this will again speed up the rounds because you're gonna have to go around that corner instead of like checking 1,000 times first. Moving on from there, special and heavy ammo no longer carries over between rounds, so having the winning team keep all of the collected ammo but the losing team getting set back to default creates too big of a snowballing advantage. Certainly for special ammo, this is going to matter a ton. I remember in Trials, you'd get some kills and, the guy with the sniper would say, let me get the ammo, and run over and grab a whole bunch of ammo, so he was absolutely loaded up on the stuff at the start of the next round. Moving on from there, we have rewards and reputation. So, Saint 14 is getting new Trials ranks, reputation, and a rewards track, and Trials tokens have been retired. So let's just take a look at what the new and improved Saint 14 will look like. Here we go. So, as you can see, Saint 14 is very much modeled after Shaxx and now Zavala and so on with that traditional ranking system. Not only are you going to be able to get powerful Trials Engrams in the first slot every once in a while, but we have specific Trials rewards on the track as well. The Eye of Soul and the Igneous Hammer are both present here, so if you're ranking up, you can for sure get that Igneous Hammer, right? Like you're going to acquire it. Now, Bungie says reputation is gained at match complete based on the number of rounds won on your ticket. Tickets track up to 20 round wins now. Emphasizing winning individual rounds for the core rewards gives every player more achievable goals at all skill levels. Since you don't have to win full matches to get rewards, you always have a reason to keep trying even if you are behind. Again, this is going to change things massively. A lot of the times, if you were like 0-3, people would just leave. Now, as long as you can win like one round in a game, you are progressing. You are potentially getting rewards. Additionally, ranking up gives you a Trials Engram, more on that in a bit, so powerful Trials Engrams show up every 3 ranks before your first reset of the season. Just like the other ritual reputations, there are other rewards to earn every 3 ranks, and Trials ranks has one of the unique Trials weapons at rank 10 and rank 16 for each of the first 3 resets of Season 15. But moving on from there, passages also got overhauled. So passages no longer track losses. A passage is either flawless or not. So this allows you to keep playing and earning match and round wins for rewards. Players can continue to reset their passages after losses, but are no longer forced to after 3 losses total. And also passages track up to 20 rounds won, and passages have been reordered because mercy is not really important unless you're specifically trying to go flawless, and have all of their prices significantly reduced, and passages are now account wide. And just to explain, because it is a little bit confusing, going flawless will still require you to win 7 games in a row. You cannot lose unless you do have that one mercy. What this is doing is getting rid of those 3 losses, those 3 X's that would force you to reset your passage. Now, you can lose as many times as you want. You're not going to ever get to the lighthouse if you do lose, but you can keep playing and keep completing your passage. So, each week there's going to be 2 different pinnacle challenges for Trials, winning 7 matches total in a given weekend and winning 50 rounds total. Also, bonus progress is going to be based on the number of wins on your card, so the 3, 5, 7 win challenges have been removed. Resetting your reputation will get you an Ascendant Shard or an exotic engram, and one of the biggest changes is that to keep people playing, match wins on a 7-win card have a chance to drop extra Trials engrams, masterworking materials, and high stat Trials armor. So again, once you get those 7 wins, even if you've had to lose a bunch of times up to that point, you can start grinding from that point forward, and then wins are going to be potentially very rewarding. Again, the Lighthouse experience, however, isn't changing. A unique pinnacle adept weapon each week for the first time you visit on your account will drop, and all of the mods and cosmetics are available in the chest to reward return visits. So let's talk about that Trials engram. So, Trials engrams now decrypt to a random selection from current armor and non-adept weapons. You do not need to unlock a piece of armor or weapon before it shows up in the engram. However, you can actually focus your engrams at Saint 14 to decrypt specific items that you've already received. So if you have gone flawless that week, you can focus additional drops of the weekly adept weapon, but it is going to be expensive. So wow, that's absolutely insane. So as long as you've earned a weapon, so let's say I've earned the messenger, I can keep decrypting engrams into that messenger to farm a god roll. And again, it even works for adept weapons. So if you go flawless once, you can potentially just grind and grind and grind. Even if you don't go flawless again, you can get more drops of that flawless weapon to again get that god roll. Additionally, matchmaking is being updated, so now you start matchmaking with players that have the same number of wins on the card and a similar Trials game performance of the given week. So they say they have a bunch of factors going into this. Essentially, now it's making sure that if you have 5 wins and some absolute sweatlord has 5 wins and you match each other, there's gonna be some issues there. So it is kind of introducing a little bit of a skill-based matchmaking system to try to matchmake the hardcores with the hardcores and the casuals with the casuals, but that causes problems in and of itself, and that's certainly going to make carrying a lot more difficult. So we'll have to see how that turns out. Moving on from there, Bungie is also doing things to improve the security. Like we've said, adding the paywall is huge. There is also the Battle Eye anti-cheat that was added this season. There's initiatives outside the digital realm, win trading, and account recoveries. So this is actually huge, guys. Hopping on someone's account if they're exchanging money can result in a ban now. So, all of those Trials carry websites that you see advertising all over the place, yeah, they potentially just went out of business. I'm sure there's still going to be account recoveries going on, but they should be significantly lessened because you're less willing to pay for that stuff if your account might get banned for doing so. And guys, the last change we gotta talk about is Trials Labs, and these are basically going to be experimental playlists that are arriving throughout Season 15 to help Bungie test some stuff. So there's 3 labs planned for Season 15. Firstly, Capture Elimination Hybrid. One capture point activates 30 seconds after each round starts with an extended captured timer. The capture location changes each round, as do the spawn locations. So this is going to be a pretty excited brand new game mode that could make its way into Trials, and I'm very glad that Bungie is testing new game modes as well for Trials, because the same elimination formula, just on different maps, does get a bit stale. Also, Trials Freelance, they say a separate node from the main Trials activity where only solo players can queue. They're going to try this out as well. And also the third one is no intro quest. So one weekend where players who have never played the Crucible can now play Trials, just to throw them right into the fire. And so guys, holy crap, that was a lot of changes, but Trials is essentially what raids are to PvE to PvP. So the fact that this playlist had so many issues and the player base was really limited in this playlist was very unfortunate. So I'm really happy to see Bungie changing so much stuff involved around this playlist. Hopefully it will be healthier, more fun, and more rewarding moving forward. And so guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.